Vegas Scoreboard Express, Saturday and Sunday morning at 6 on KSHP North Las Vegas, FM, AM, K296HP North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.
Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos, going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
Outside, no man is safe from Vegas Scoreboard with Brainful. That's how I'm living.
That's how we do it. That's just the way it is. That's the reason why I came to you.
Drink and women and money.
Good morning, Las Vegas. All my sports bettors around the world. I'm back at you, JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express. Live on KSHP AM 1400. 107.1 FM. Here in Las Vegas, you guys can check us out on the web. KSHP.com, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Going to be launching the brand new JBTheTicket.com. Coming up this Monday for Monday Night Football. Going to be launching that. Going to be having some picks available for you. Going to be getting you guys where you want to be as far as that goes. A lot of you have been asking about that, so I decided to put it together. Also this morning, I got my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, back on the line with me. Good morning, Ron. How you doing out in California? Was the vacation good?
Good morning, brother. It was good, but it's over. Ready to get back to work.
Ready to get back to work, and we're telling you here, you guys got to tune into us each and every Saturday and Sunday right here on KSHP 107.1 FM and AM 1400 for the live picks. Going to be doing the college football today, college football Saturday, week 5. A lot of big matchups. USC going out to Colorado. You got Notre Dame going down to Duke. Could be an upset type of Saturday, and me and Ron are going to talk about it when we get back. So, Ron, you hang on the line. I'm going to hook everybody up with a couple of these deal offers, and then again back from this short commercial break, jumping right into it. College football Saturday, JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express. You know what time it is. Wake up early in the morning. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease. Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
Kick off the football season with Drizzly.com. Score big with your favorite drinks delivered right to your doorstep. From ice cold brews to game day cocktails, we've got the perfect lineup for your football gatherings. Visit VegasScoreboardExpress.com and click the Drizzly. Now let's get the party started. Drink responsibly. Must be of legal drinking age. Delivery and availability may vary.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
More fire, more heat.
This next is real.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. I'm back at you live here. KSHP 107.1 AM 1400. Giving you straight grease, waking you up every single Saturday and Sunday to give you these college football and pro football picks. Got my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, back on the line with me here. Thank you so much for coming back from vacation, Ron. We know that you are here ready to go with us. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for letting me back, bro.
Yeah, man, trying to make it happen. Again, you guys can check out these games on Fubo TV. Go to FuboTV.com/JB, hooking you up with it. So again, this is a college football Saturday, trying to make it happen, trying to put cash back where it needs to be in your pocket. Got an early game today. Ron, we were talking about this, but before we get into it, just talk a little bit about what you saw over the vacation. college football, you see USC doing well. You were telling us about Caleb Williams. Guy's a baller, you know, going out to Colorado today. So just talk to me about a few of the things that you've seen, and we'll get right into the action. Go ahead.
Well, I haven't seen too many surprises, really. I mean, I figured Texas would be really good. I knew Alabama was going to have issues with the quarterback position. I think everybody knew Georgia was going to be really good again. You know, USC is dominating. UCLA has been very good up until last week. Utah got them finally, but they looked really well. Oregon looked really impressive, hammering Colorado. Notre Dame's been good. Ohio State's looking good. I mean, a lot of the usual suspects, so to speak, are looking good.
And that's what we're talking about, man. We did this college football preview a couple of weeks back, and it has been, you know, pretty much on point. The only team that has been somewhat disappointing has been NC State down in the ACC, but Duke somehow, some way has come back from the doldrums. Another team that we're going to be talking about today is University of Kansas. And again, we're going to be having my main man, John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook, stop by. The big board this morning, going to be giving you some of his classic picks to get you locked in. But yeah, just a quick note, man. I'm working off of this studio computer. Technical difficulties. I come in, I log on, it worked. I went outside, came back in, tried to log back in, doesn't work. But that's why I have a ton of equipment with me. Got the laptop back, guys, so we're not going to be wasting any more time with you. Rotation number 167. The USC Trojans going out to Boulder, minus 22 on the line. Again, you guys can collect these lines at BetUS or shop around your local sports books where you happen to may be. Minus 1,200 on the money line. The total is 73. Hard total has stayed pretty much where it is. Colorado, rotation number 168. And still give a shout out to Coach Prime. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I saw as far as some of the exclusives that these guys put out on Instagram. A lot of you people have talked about these guys do it for clicks or what have you. But again, I look at it for information just to see how he's trying to motivate his team after that loss. Plus 750 on the money line. Now, this is the biggest home dog early game, West Coast game, 9 a.m., 12 p.m. Eastern time. And again, I want to give a shout out to all my folks listening on the East Coast, up in the Northeast, especially my folks up in New York. You guys are dealing with a lot of rain up there. The subway's flooded. Rats are jumping out. Rats are in canoes. They're trying to move as well. But let's talk a little bit about this, because the Colorado Buffaloes, again, started off with that fantastic 3-0 start. Okay, brought you home some money lines. Again, when they were the favorite at home versus Colorado State, they didn't cover the spread, but they were able to get you the win. And if you were an alumni bet and you bet $2,200 to win $100 or something crazy like that, fine. But today they're going against the other top team in the Pac-12 that we have seen, the resurgence of the USC Trojans. Under Lincoln Riley, these guys coaching these guys up. Caleb Williams could have went to the draft last year, and I think he may have fared better in the draft last year than some of these quarterbacks in the NFL. We'll talk about it tomorrow, Ron, but rookies are stinking it up out there. Seriously, first rounders are on the milk carton. But let's get back into this college football. You're talking about these USC Trojans. They seem to be stacked on both sides of the ball again. The emergent star, of course, is trying to win the back-to-back Heisman in Caleb Williams. But who are some of the other guys that you've seen step up and bring USC back to prominence? Because there's heavy talk in LA now about these guys going back to the college football playoff to maybe get back into a national championship. Go ahead, Ron.
Offensively, they got every chance to be there. Defensively, that's the problem. They can't shut teams down when they need to. The defense is much better than last year. It's a lot tougher. It's more physical. They don't play. But they still have some depth issues there, and it's not quite there yet. You know, it was looking pretty good until Arizona State. You know, and they gave up 28 points. And
yeah, that was a shocker. We missed that one. You know? Yeah, we missed that one. We were thinking about taking Arizona State on a dog points ticket, but we were like, look, Arizona State at home, who've they beaten? And when Arizona State had the lead a few times, it was a little worrisome. And then in the fourth quarter, you talk about the defense not being able to stop and shut teams down on the offensive side. But the offensive side of the ball for USC, they're able to close out games, man. These guys rattled off 3 straight touchdowns, and I think they beat these guys like 42-28. So talking about it from the perspective of comeback potential, the total is 73 today. Do you think a lot of points are going to get scored? Because what we saw last week from Colorado, the offense couldn't quite move. Offense couldn't get down the field. Travis Hunter, the heart and soul of the team, he plays the majority of the snaps. He's still sidelined with the liver laceration. He met up with the young player this week from Colorado State. Give him a shout out for that, showing great sportsmanship. But in the relationship to Colorado's offense, it goes as Shedeur Sanders goes, and he was able to pick it up last week in the second half. But again, they only got 1 touchdown, and they didn't get the 2-point conversion. So basically what I'm saying is I think there is a chance for Colorado to get inside of that spread. Is there a chance for an upset? But it is an early game, and they are at home. USC does have to travel. I think this is back-to-back road games for them. They did win at Arizona State, which was a little bit tougher than they had to. Colorado's had a week to go back to the Buffalo Hut, lick their wounds, and I noticed on social media, which a lot of people talk about that they're on constantly, and a lot of the videos that are getting put out, it was all about winning, and it was all about reflection and trying to get rid of the hype machine. I didn't see the media covering these guys all week long, the 60 Minutes tapes. They weren't there. Okay? What I saw was guys get refocused, remember the mission, remember to dominate, remember to get back up and down the field, remember to play with heart. And like I said, Travis Hunter is just such a big part of that, and him not being there. But there are others. They were talking about this 5-star kid. He's a DB. He hasn't gotten on the field yet. And, Coach Prime basically said, look, he's got to do what he needs to do to get on the field. But today, here at home, we saw it last week, a week and a half ago with Colorado State. Do I think it's going to be a shootout? Hopefully, yes. But it is early in the morning. 9 a.m. West Coast, early games, ABC. How do you see this one panning out? Because, again, this is something that I typically see that when you travel, when USC travels, again, they had trouble on the road with Arizona State. Coach Prime has got these guys hungry. They brought in the rapper DaBaby talking about adversity and how to overcome that and make a comeback. I think this is a home dog that's barking, man. Plus 22. I'm sure they're going to get inside of that spread today. And if they do get inside of that spread, the total is definitely in play to go over. Talk to me about your thoughts, Ron. Go ahead.
Well, I like where you're going with that. I mean, the only problem is Coach Prime ain't going to play, so. But,
yes, he is. He's got Shedeur and Shallow out there. Technically, he is playing. But go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Colorado is really building something special. And he said it best after the game last week. I'm going to go with this. You better get us now. They have a problem with depth. They don't have any depth. They had tons of roster turnover. The results he's got already from them has been incredible, really. He's done an incredible job. But he's an ex-player, a great ex-player, by the way, and he knows to get rid of the hype machine. I'm sure he was the one telling him, get out of here. We got business here. No more of this stuff.
Right.
I mean, he knows they were becoming a hype machine, and he killed it.
Right.
And props to Coach Prime. That's what he should do. Focus on football. So they're going to come out hungry. They're going to come out aggressive and pissed off. I just don't think they have the talent to hang with USC right now after Oregon last week. They lost a few more key players.
Yeah.
And I just don't see the depth there to hang with them. I really don't.
Well,
I think USC is going to cover the spread, and I think they're going to beat them pretty easy.
Man, that's tough. That's tough. Ron, third down. Best bets. Again, follow him on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. Ron, I don't know what happened to your Instagram, man. We've been talking to you for a while, man. You got that phone. I think one of the transients might have stolen it from you, man. What the heck is going on out in California?
I got hacked.
Man, oh my goodness, man.
I'm trying to get it back, though. I'll be up on Instagram soon.
Yes. And again, you guys be sure to follow Ron over on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. He'll get back to you. Don't leave him out in the dust. Don't do us like that. But yeah, I mean, I think Colorado can get inside of the spread for two simple reasons. A, what I saw from Colorado starting off in the beginning of the season, what these young men were able to do. They've got some injuries. You talk about depth. I think the depth is there. What I think it needed to happen was a loss like that. If you talk about a team that came out, shocked the world, had everybody doing their meme with the watch and all this stuff, to get kicked in the teeth like that on the road by a coach that they gave a lot of grease to for his pregame speech, that is something that, in my opinion, from the player standpoint, and I know Coach Prime played, pro ball. I didn't play pro ball, but, I played. If you take a loss like that and you get back home in front of your home crowd and you've got a week to nurse your wounds, get in the weight room, tighten up, look at that game tape. In my opinion, I think these guys have studied USC well. They know the gaps in the defense. They know they got to strike hard, strike early. If these guys get 14 points in that first quarter, they're inside of the spread for the rest of the game. You heard it here first, JB the Ticket. If Colorado finds a way, whether it be a fumble recovery, I'm looking for a pick six. Let's talk about this a little bit. You got Jerry Rice's kid going up against Deion Sanders' kid. That should be interesting in the secondary, and USC young Rice kid there at wide receiver. So there is some interesting dynamic here. And
I just read
go
that
ahead.
Deion's kid might not be playing in the secondary. The safety, he's got an ankle injury.
He's got a what?
An ankle injury. Said he may not be playing today. Just saw it on ESPN.
Oh, no. Well, that's, again, one of the things you're talking about are the injuries with Colorado. Do you think that's why the line hasn't gone down? Yeah. Do you think that's why the line hasn't gone down? Because the line went up a half a point. It started off at plus 21. Then it was 21.5 by Tuesday. And now today it's a full 22. So if Shiloh's not able to get on the field because of an ankle injury, I mean, these guys got to step it up. But when we get back from the short commercial break, we're going to talk some more college football. I'm going to be bringing him on real short with us, my main man, John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook, and RotoWire.com. You guys are going to definitely want to stay tuned for that. Ron, any shout-outs? Again, glad to have you back. Ron, third down, best bets, the Raider Hawk. UNLV is going to be playing today. We're going to be talking about that. Can't wait to get you out here, man, when you get down to third down. Hopefully we'll be able to get your face up on that screen, and they'll be like, that's the real third down. And, that's what it is, that defense. That's why we call him third down best bets. He was the best bet back in the day to lay the rock on the boy carrying the rock and making sure they didn't get that first. But, Ron, give your shout-outs. I'll take this short commercial break. We'll get back into this college football and start giving you straight picks. It's an early pick for me. I'm going to tell you right now, if Coach Prime can do what he did about 2-3 weeks ago and fight and grind to a win, that's going to be necessary. USC is coming in also poised to try to play a dominant game after they got beat up a little bit last week at Arizona State. But nevertheless, Ron, shout-outs, and I got to break. Go ahead.
Thank you, brother. And I will be there soon in Vegas, right next to you, very soon. Two quick shout-outs. One to Jan Garcia, well, from childhood, listens to the show every week. Huge supporter. And I got to mention Tina, our super fan. She's listening right now. Thank you for listening.
There you go. Super fans out there in California, New York, here in Las Vegas. Also, give a shout out to my folks up in Reno who've been tuning in. Lake Tahoe area. You guys know JB the Ticket is giving you that grease. Got JBTheTicket.com coming out this Monday. You guys are going to want to follow me on Instagram at JB the Ticket for that. Taking a short commercial break, folks. Got to pay a few bills. And you guys support our sponsors. These deals are great. Going to save you a ton of money. KSHP AM 1400, 107.1 FM. That's what we're known for. So grab your bankroll. Stay up with me. Let's get this money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
Big Dogs Brewing Company, open 24/7, is an award-winning brewery, a full-service catering business, and a fun, smoke-free brew pub restaurant with a full-service bar, including over 35 craft beers on tap, 35 multi-denomination slot machines, the best gaming promotion, and a lively, dog-friendly outdoor patio. Big Dogs Brewing Company, 4543 North Rancho at Gray. Find out more at BigDogsBrews.com.
Kick off the football season with Drizzly.com. Score big with your favorite drinks delivered right to your doorstep. From ice cold brews to game day cocktails, we've got the perfect lineup for your football gatherings. Visit VegasScoreboardExpress.com and click the Drizzly. Now let's get the party started. Drink responsibly. Must be of legal drinking age. Delivery and availability may vary.
You're listening to the boss of the big board.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss. The Mix Master is live. Get ready.
JB the Tech.
Vegas Scoreboard Express.
JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live here. KSHP AM 1400. Got my main man on the line with me, John Ryan from the Predictive Sports Betting Playbook. And still on the line with us, my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets. You can follow John over on Twitter at John Ryan Sports 1. John, good morning again to you. Thank you so much for coming on this college football Saturday.
Appreciate it very much, JB. Seeing the cards pretty well, so hopefully we'll give out some more winners today.
Yes, the winners are on deck. Again, you guys can check these games out, FuboTV.com/JB, hooking you up with a 7-day free trial. There is no cancellation fee, not going to lock you in if you don't like it, but why wouldn't you like it? It's going to save you also on that website when you are a listener to my show, 15% off. Nobody's doing that, okay? There's no contract, no credit check. If they cut your cable off today and you're looking for a way to get the games back on, go over to FuboTV.com/JB. and I'm going to hook you up. So again, talking to my main man, John Ryan, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook, and RotoWire.com. Got a couple of games here on deck that I've been very excited about. And for the last couple of weeks, a lot of people have told me that, JB, they're going to make a comeback. They're going to get better. These are a lot of homers. I'm talking about fans over in a Clemson, rotation number 125, the Clemson Tigers. Again, getting ready to start off another week. These guys are 2-2. They're playing a tough team today in Syracuse at home. Clemson -6.5, rotation number 126. The Syracuse Orangemen right now, an undefeated team. Quite a few undefeated teams on the line today. Okay, these undefeated records are up on the line. Syracuse at home +230. Now, this game started off, John, at +9, and I told folks to jump on it at +9 for Syracuse, but now people have been doing that. They're bringing that line down. Total is 53. We saw what happened last week with Florida State. We talked about Florida State being the winner over Clemson. But then you go into how they lost the game, and you're talking about a game where they out-yardaged in every category, Florida State, but lost in overtime. You had a duck kicked for a field goal. You had an injury to one of their key secondary players. Talk to me about this Clemson team, because, again, I have been worried about them since Dabo Swinney made the comments about not being as excited to coach in the NIL era. Now we're a couple years into it. He lost a couple of his big recruits. We haven't heard about them getting a big recruiting class come in. Is it time for Clemson to recognize that they may be on somewhat of a slide? Go ahead, John.
Well, I agree with that. I never like to see a program take a slide, to be honest with you. And, we know the hot seat is pretty darn hot there in Death Valley, Clemson Stadium. With Dabo Swinney, he's had a tremendous career, but, 2 losses by a Clemson team already is not acceptable by that program. And I think actually they're in trouble of losing this game today. I have a play on Syracuse today. The Tigers are 2-11 against the spread for 15% in the first 4 weeks of the last 3 seasons. The Syracuse Orange, 12-3 straight up, 11-3 for 79% in the first 4 weeks of the last 3 seasons. The Orange are 44-23 straight up, 43-24 against the number, JB, in home games after covering the spread in 2 of their last 3, going all the way back to 1980. So that's just a few of the stats that I have. Dabo Swinney just 2-6 in road games after a game in which his defense forced 0 turnovers. So you're right. They outgained Florida State. They had technically outplayed them, but I guess at the end of the day, when you don't recruit a kicker and you said for years and years and years you don't need to recruit a kicker, it comes back to haunt you.
And that's exactly what happened to him.
It's going to be really hungry.
It's going to be a dog that's barking again. The Syracuse Orangemen quarterback Garrett Schrader. Give this guy a little bit of a shout out. 21-26 last week. A touchdown through the air, ran for a score. Their running back LaQuint Allen, another transfer that went up there. The transfer portal, we'll talk about it in a second. There was an interesting quote that I saw from Coach Prime, and we were talking about that game with Ron. Ron, I'll go to you on this particular game. When you look at Syracuse, who are stacked top to bottom, you got Dino Babers, their head coach, put them in a position to compete in the ACC. They're doing well this year. Again, some of the stalwarts of the ACC haven't been doing so well. Again, Clemson, NC State, you're talking about, Wake Forest. Kind of a downslide year for those particular teams, but the teams that have surprised many people who many folks consider basketball schools, Syracuse and Duke. And we're going to talk about that Duke game a little bit later on in the show. But Ron, what are your thoughts? If you got any questions for John, do you think Clemson can get a bounce back here? Because that 2-2, 0-2 in the ACC college football playoff is out. They played 4 games. These guys have got to win out relatively 5 of the last 8 games to even get close to a bowl game. Talk to me about your chances. Do you think Syracuse is a dog that's barking today? Go ahead.
Yeah, I like Syracuse today. They're a good football team. They don't get nearly enough credit that they deserve. Clemson, I agree with what John said 100%. Clemson is, that kicker, it bit them in the butt bad, really bad. It turned the whole program. It really did in a week. It turned the whole program. The whole nation is looking at them differently now.
You failed, you big dummy.
There is no room for error for Clemson the rest of the way. I don't see them winning out the rest of the way. They're not that dominant of a football team anymore.
Man, telling you right now to go ahead and take the Syracuse Orange. That is a pick that should be able to get you paid. If you're scared, take them in the points. Rotation number 126. The Orange are a dog that is barking. 4-0 going up against a 2-2 on the road. Tough to travel up the East Coast this week. John, I know that the New York City area, Eastern Seaboard, had some rain. Give us an update on some of the weather that you see with some of the games on the East Coast. Do you see any possible delays, or has that storm kind of gone off to the east a little bit more? But I know that there were a lot of places in New York City, especially in the 5 boroughs, that ended up with a lot of rain and a lot of flooding. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's very true. And thankfully, nobody's been, hurt by it. It's been flash floods, and just imagine being in a subway and having, rivers coming at you. Basically, is what we've been seeing.
Right.
So it's pretty scary. But I think the only game that is of concern is the Boston College location. I think that field could get pretty sloppy, and that's really the only one. There could be delays, but the weather is out of here now, and it should be, the next week of weather here in the East Coast should be spectacular.
Great news, great news. Let's jump into the next game that we had on the board here for you, John. Talking about a game that a lot of teams have been beaten by, but these guys are coming in today. A heavy, heavy dog. I'm talking about those Kansas Jayhawks, rotation number 211. First and foremost, John, I'll throw this at you. Are they the real deal today? Plus 490 at 4-0, going down to Austin, playing the Texas Longhorns. Rotation number 212. The Texas Longhorns minus 16 total of 61.5. This is a very interesting matchup for me because in the past, we all know Kansas was a doormat. The Jayhawks were baked chickens upon arrival at the stadium, but now they're coming in 4-0. They got a new head coach. The things that were put in place with the prior head coach, again, shout out my main man, Darryl Harris over at CBS KLAS here in Las Vegas, CBS 8 News Now. He was on the show last week, and he said Kansas is for real. Now, they moved into the rankings as Colorado has moved out. They're at number 24. Texas is at number 25. Is this a trap game for Texas? Both of these teams are 4-0. The spread, talking about that spread, John, from a betting perspective, do you think the plus 16 can get there? But from a fan and money line perspective and knowledge of the sport, could Kansas come in and upset Texas today? Go ahead.
Well, I'll answer pretty quickly. The answer is absolutely no, in my humble opinion. This is one of the games that's pretty rare in college football where the public is backing a double-digit underdog. And in my experience of 29 years, that's something I target because it usually doesn't end up too well for the public betting a dog like this, especially one that's entering the ranked poll for the first time this season. You may remember, JB, I bet Texas to play Penn State at 45-1 in the national championship game, and that one's looking pretty good so far. Those teams have an awful lot of work to do yet. But I don't see Texas overlooking Kansas just because of all the hype that is surrounding the resurgence of the Kansas program, which is great to see. But Leopold is just 1-10 against the number in road games after a game where he outrushed the opponent by more than 125 yards. Sarkisian, the head coach of Texas, is a perfect 7-0 against the spread in home games following back-to-back games in which his defense had no more than one forced turnover in each game.
I love it.
So one last thing, JB, in my predictive model projections, we're looking for Texas to outgain Kansas by at least 2 yards per play. If that happens in previous games, Texas is 25-1 straight up, 19-7 against the number for 73%. So that is why I think, betting the money line here might be, you might be better off just going out and buying a pizza instead of using pizza money on the money line.
That's what I'm telling you. He's telling you right now, take rotation number 212, the Texas Longhorns. They should be able to get you paid. Now, Ron, third down best bets. I want to talk about another game that I had on the list with you here. We didn't get to it, but we'll get to it now. I wanted John to talk to me a little bit about this one. Rotation number 143, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish going on the road, minus 5.5 favorites to Duke. Rotation number 144. Now, Duke could be a dog that's barking, okay? They've got that first win over Clemson that started their downward slide. Total 52.5 plus 175 on the money line. Do you think that there's any way that the Duke Blue Devils could maybe get inside of that spread with Notre Dame? But on the other side, can Notre Dame finally get back to covering spreads? They were beating up on some of the little softies in the beginning of the season, and then they ran into Ohio State last week and costed us some money. Is this a revenge game for Notre Dame? And also talking about their quarterback, Sam Hartman, who transferred out of the ACC, coming back in, seeing offenses and defenses he's familiar with, especially. Do you think there's a chance for either one of these teams to get you some money? Which one? Go ahead.
I like Notre Dame in this game. I think Carolina. I think Duke is going to keep it really close. I think it's going to be. I don't think they're going to cover the spread though. I think it's going to be about a field goal win for Notre Dame. Duke is a good football team. They're going to be. Notre Dame is going to have their hands full all day.
Yeah, I'm talking about these guys again going 4-0 right now. One of the better teams in the ACC. John, I'll throw this at you from a coaching perspective. Who do you think has the better coaching experience here? Marcus Freeman again last week taking that close loss. We know he's an offensive genius, but somehow Ohio State's defense, and you told us to take Ohio State last week. We didn't listen to you and we lost money. But this week, Duke, again, when Marcus Freeman plays teams that he's unfamiliar with, sometimes that offense, if it gets a little bit stagnant, it can get them in trouble late in the game. And then you saw that defensive snafu. Playing shorthanded, last second, end of line. I mean, just a complete ticket blow up a disaster for you on that payoff last week. So Notre Dame had a lot to shore up. But Duke, I think they're ready to come to play. And Ron is talking about them being a much better team, the way they were able to beat Syracuse and then come back the very next week and compete. Do you think the Duke Blue Devils are a dog that's barking here at home at plus 175? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they are a barking dog. I think this game shapes up much like the Syracuse-Clemson game. Duke is a proven commodity. As you mentioned, they beat Clemson pretty handily. And everybody said that was a fluke too. We're learning that was not a fluke. So I do think that Notre Dame is vulnerable here. I mean, after all, we're talking about kids between the ages of 18 and 22 that just had a heartbreaking loss. I actually tweeted JB and Ron on at the halftime of the Notre Dame game against Ohio State that they were 0-12 in their history, going back to 1980, when scoring 3 or fewer points in the first half of any game. They came back in a great fashion. It was a great comeback. But then what happened? Mistakes down at the end of the game. They give it up, and Ohio State walked away with a gift win, really.
Right. So it was a gift.
They're prone for a letdown. I'll give you one quick system here. Home dogs between 3 and 10 points in a matchup of two very good rushing teams that are outgaining their opponents by 60 or more yards per game. 35-11 against the number for 76%. And guess what? If the foe that these guys are playing is ranked in the top 25, which Notre Dame is, the record of these live home dogs goes to 22-4, 85% against the spread. So I like this game quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Duke win.
Duke should be able to get you in there. Now, again, plus 5.5. I kind of like them in the spread here at home. Notre Dame, they've got some issues, late game closeouts. But if they get up to an early 14-0 lead, if Sam Hartman jumps out and just says, look, I got to get back the ball, and I was trying to win the Heisman. He's got a loss on his record. If Notre Dame goes to 4-2, there could be some issues there as well. But again, John, I want to thank you so much for stopping by the big board this morning. I know you got to get out of here. Any final shout-outs before I let you go? Again, you guys can follow him over on X or the Bird at John Ryan Sports 1. You can also check out his articles on rotowire.com and his regular service, Predictive Sports Betting Playbook. Go ahead.
I do have a 10-star game of the month going today. And for any of the listeners that are watching, just send me a direct message on Twitter at John Ryan Sports and the number 1, and you get it for free. It's a test drive. You get all the analytics, the research that support the play, and tell you why this is my 10-star game of the month going today.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, John, for stopping by. You guys get over there. Get him the email. He's going to get you that 10-star play. We're on Third Down Best Bets. I want you to stay here on the line with me, John. He's going to be departing. We're going to come back, talk a little bit more college football with you, finish out the morning. Again, you guys are rocking with the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Want to give a shout-out to my main man, Mark Hayes, station director. Got back to me this morning. That was just me putting in the wrong password, brother. But again, rocking with me here. Thank you guys so much for being here with us and tuning in each and every Saturday and Sunday at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. right here on KSHP. So when I get back from this short commercial break, we're going to keep you locked and loaded and put more cash in your pocket. Let's get some money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Your favorite drinks delivered right to your doorstep. From ice cold brews to game day cocktails, we've got the perfect lineup for your football gatherings. Visit VegasScoreboardExpress.com and click the Drizzly. Now let's get the party started. Drink responsibly. Must be of legal drinking age. Delivery and availability may vary. Skip your cable bill this month and join the action with JB and Fubo TV. Get 7 days free, 15% off your first month. No credit check, no deposit, no installation hassle. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. Sign up, download the app, and start watching games.
Enjoy being a subscriber after the first month. Easy cancellation anytime. Regional restrictions apply. Sign up at VegasScoreboardExpress.com.
Steiner's, the Nevada style pub, invites you to play the best tavern, keno, and video poker in Vegas. Promos are how we roll, so make the most of your gaming dollars here with us. Come play our proud partner gaming promotion, Fly Aviators Fly, and receive daily free play, bonuses, and more. With a chance to win awesome brand of prizes and big money for all the jackpots each week. It's not only great gaming that Steiner's Pub has, it's the 24 awesome rotating draft beers and Vegas' best appetizers to match. So join us in supporting your Las Vegas Aviators, Golden Knights, Lights, Aces, and the Raiders as we make history in Vegas. Steiner's, the Nevada style pub at 8410 West Cheyenne, 1750 North Buffalo, and Las Vegas Boulevard at Windmill. Steiner's, I love this place.
All right, I'm back at you. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Thank you guys so much for keeping it live with me. Going to jump right back into this grease. Ron, third down best bet. You still there, brother? Go ahead.
Okay, bro.
All right, we're going to make it happen for you. Again, you guys are locked and loaded with us. Thank you so much for tuning in each and every Saturday and Sunday morning here at KSHP 107.1. Follow me on Instagram at JB the Ticket, and you can check out all of my shows, replays, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Tune in, you name it. Follow me, subscribe, give me a good rating, feedback. I respond, and we'll help you guys continue to make more betting picks. Rotation number 185, Alabama Crimson Tide, -15, -640 on the road today. Total is 46, so it looks like it could be a low-scoring game. Mississippi State at home. Again, 2 weeks ago, if you listened to the show, they cost me big time versus USC. These guys are plus 490 on the money line. So talk to me a little bit about this game because, Ron, I'm telling you, what I've seen out of Alabama as well has been a little bit disappointing. They haven't been dominant. They've got quarterback issues. You talked about it. So where do you think this one is going to go? Because if you look at Mississippi State, they also have problems scoring. They can't really get the ball down the field, having problems connecting with their receivers. Decent quarterback, but anytime someone puts a serious amount of defense on these guys, they just can't score. So talk to me about the options today. -15 for Alabama. We haven't seen it yet, except for a lot of powder puff teams. But going into this conference play, and a lot of teams across the board are going into conference play, you think Mississippi State's going to finally step it up today? They're 2-2, 2-1 at home. Alabama's 3-1, 2-2 against the spread. Mississippi State, however, 1-3 against that spread. And at -15, some places you can maybe get it 14.5 on the hook. Mississippi State has been somewhat disappointing, but they have a winning record at home. Do you think they keep that going? Go ahead.
Well, I think Alabama needs to realize they still have quarterback issues. They haven't gone away, and they're going to show themselves today as well. I like Alabama in this game. It's going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I just think they're going to win out on more physicality, more talent. I mean, they have more talent in more positions. I think that's, in the long run, that's going to win the game for them. But it's going to be a very close game. Mississippi State's going to give them a good run today.
Now, Alabama, quarterback issues. There's really nobody that we have seen step up and take over. They're kind of doing it by committee, similar to what Auburn is doing. Jalen Milroe, he's been the starting quarterback. He did a little bit better last week against Ole Miss, but again, he got benched a week before that. Going forward, okay, do you think that these guys are going to be better at the quarterback position? Again, Alabama, the SEC teams, you're going to see this across the board. Lack of NIL players, lack of depth, lack of notoriety, if you will, coming into these games. This is one no one's really talking about, but Mississippi State, they got blown out by Alabama last year, but two totally different teams. And Mississippi State has a really good quarterback in Will Rogers. So, I mean, if he can get going today and score at least a touchdown, 37-30, they lost last week on the road to South Carolina. He threw for 400 yards. It's a home dog that I think is barking. Alabama coming to town. All these guys got to do is continue to play defense. Do you think that Alabama can really step up on the offensive side, though? Because if you got a quarterback throwing for 400 yards and a loss on the road, he shouldn't have a regression at home. Could, but, like I said, home dog that's barking. Go ahead.
Well, Alabama's quarterbacks aren't bad. They don't have experience. They lost their offensive coordinator. Bill O'Brien went back to the NFL. So people don't talk about that. for a young, inexperienced quarterback, that's tough, especially at the college level. I've only seen Jalen Milroe play, and he's got talent. He's a talented player. He just needs to play. He needs experience. He needs reps. And I think he will get better as the season goes on because he does have talent. He makes plays, but he doesn't have consistency yet from the lack of experience, and that's what's been killing him. So if he can iron that out as the year goes on, yes, he's a very talented player. They can be tough again. Will they beat Georgia? I don't believe so, no.
All right. Well, as you know, I mean, a lot of folks.
They should win against Mississippi State today, yes.
Yes, I mean, it is a tough game for Mississippi State. They've got to step up to at least get inside of that spread for you. Again, we're talking about these Mississippi State Bulldogs. I got to make sure that my headphones and everything is working here today. We're having some technical difficulties, but, you know, it's typical here early in radio. But, again, we're talking about those Georgia Bulldogs. They're going against that Auburn team today, another minus 15 road favorite, rotation number 191, the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, you're talking about a team right now who has struggled somewhat offensively. We haven't seen them be as dominant on the offensive side of the ball. Another low total at 44.5. Auburn, again, doing it by committee. They're trying to maintain some relevance in the SEC, but they haven't really been able to do it. Bo Nix is now balling out and blowing out Coach Prime over for Oregon. So they've got a quarterback by committee situation as well. One guy can throw, one guy can run the Wildcat, the other guy can kind of run the offense. So at plus 490, do you think Auburn has any chance today at upsetting Georgia if they can keep it to a tight defensive spread game? I mean, Auburn is at home, but Auburn ain't the Auburn of the days of, let's say, even Cam Newton. I mean, after him, it's been pretty much downhill, but go ahead.
No chance.
Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
No chance. No, Georgia's going to pummel Auburn today. They got their wake-up call a couple weeks ago at South Carolina, and they're going to start clicking now.
There you go. There you go. So, again, he's telling you right now, go ahead and go with those Georgia Bulldogs. Put the cash in your pocket. Take them in the points if you're not scared. Want to give a shout-out also to my main man, Troy West. We're getting ready to get out of here, Ron. We got about a minute and a half left. Want to talk about him today at home. It's the Ninth Island game. Shout out to the Pacific Islander community here in Las Vegas. Rotation number 169. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors are coming all the way over the Pacific to the desert. Rotation number 170. The UNLV Running Rebels under new head coach Barry Odom. These boys are playing some football, man. Saw them beat up on Vanderbilt a couple weeks ago. They went on the road last week to UTEP and got the win. These guys are 3-1, 2-0 at home, 4-0 against the spread. You know we love those spread bettors. I think this is a team and another dog. They are heavy favorite. They might be able to do it. The rotation number, again, 170. They're at 10.5. You think UNLV beats Hawaii? Hawaii's coming in at 2-3, 0-2 on the road. Long flight. The only caveat is it could be kind of like a home game for them because there's a large Hawaiian and Pacific Islander community here. We've even got one at quarterback, my main man, Mavia, man. He's still rocking for us, bringing home wins and money lines. Where do you see this one going? Does Hawaii try to get inside of that spread, or does UNLV continue their dominance and push through the Mountain West this year? Again, Coach Barry Odom has got these boys playing at top levels. He doesn't go worry about positions on the depth chart. He said it in one of his interviews. Again, shout out Fox 5 Paloma Villacana, rocking with us here, bringing us that grease. He said, look, he wants playmakers. He doesn't care where your year or your status is. If you're a transfer or what. If you're a playmaker, you're going to get on the field. UNLV covering the spread today and getting you the cash. Go ahead, and then we'll get out of here.
I think they do. They're doing, to quote one of my former coaches, they're just playing football.
That's what I'm saying.
Nothing else. Everyone does it.
That's what I'm saying. So, Ron, thank you so much for stopping by the big board today. Again, everybody out in Vegas, want to give a shout out to all my folks over at the Crispy Crunchy Chicken over in the Sunoco in Summerlin, right on the corner of Flamingo and Cimarron. Again, don't take my directions for it. I'll have you in the middle of nowhere. But again, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. I'm glad you rock with me. We're going to be back tomorrow. NFL Sunday picks. Go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Got the daily picks for you there. Got everything that you need to put you where you want to be. And we're going to get you back in the winner's circle. So again, JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express, waking you up early in the morning. Thanks for rocking with us. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.